Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marc Marquez may be enjoying a dominant 2025 MotoGP season, but even the runaway championship leader isn't immune to the complications of modern racing rules. The Ducati Lenovo star has now spoken out about the series' increasingly controversial tire pressure regulations, voicing concern that the current penalties are too severe, despite supporting the rule's intention to prioritize rider safety. Fresh off a dramatic podium finish at the 2025 Suzuka 8 Hours, Jack Miller is already setting his sights on a return to the iconic endurance race, and possibly more with Yamaha. While the Aussie's MotoGP future remains uncertain, his words after Suzuka reveal a growing connection with the Japanese marque. The MotoGP paddock was buzzing after a report surfaced claiming former F1 boss Günther Steiner was close to acquiring the Tech3 team in a €20 million deal. But team owner Hervé Poncherel has stepped in to shut down the speculation, firmly labeling it as fake news. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. During the Brno sprint, Marquez was leading comfortably until his dashboard flashed a critical warning. His front tire pressure had dipped below the minimum threshold. To avoid a post-race penalty, he was forced to slow down and let Pedro Acosta pass, tucking into his slipstream to raise the tire temperature and bring the pressure back within regulation limits. Once stabilized, Marquez made a calculated move to retake the lead and win the race. It's not the first time Marquez has used this risky but strategic maneuver. A similar situation occurred in Buram, where the Spaniard managed to dodge a penalty by managing tire pressure mid-race. However, this tactic depends heavily on circumstances, mainly whether a slower rider is close enough to follow. If not, the risk of losing both the lead and picking up a penalty increases drastically. Marquez's teammate, Francesco Bagnaia, had his own tire pressure drama at Brno, but in his case, it was due to a faulty dashboard warning. Believing his pressure was too low, Bagnaia allowed several riders to pass, slipping from P2 to P7. Post-race analysis revealed his pressure had actually remained legal throughout. It was a brutal blow for Bagnaia and a glaring example of how flawed communication between machine and rider can ruin a race. The fallout raised further questions about the clarity and reliability of the current monitoring systems. Despite all this, Marquez made it clear he supports the rule itself. "I agree with the rule, because it's a safety rule. But the penalty, in my opinion, is too much. I would say yes, it can be fewer seconds." Marquez's statement. Under current MotoGP regulations, failing to meet the minimum pressure for a defined portion of the race results in +8 seconds added in sprint races and +16 seconds in full-length Grands Prix. That's enough to ruin a podium finish, or even knock a rider out of the points. Reduce the penalty in half. Like 4 seconds in the sprint and 8 seconds in the long race. That would make more sense. Marquez emphasized that in shorter sprint races, a penalty that size is disproportionate. "You can't open an 8-second gap in a sprint," he added, implying that riders have no room to recover once the warning hits. While Marquez's argument for fairer penalties is gaining traction, it opens up another concern. What if softer penalties encourage riders to ignore the warning and race flat out below the pressure limit? That would undermine the safety goals the rule was designed to address. This tension between enforcing safety and ensuring competitive fairness is now one of the biggest regulatory headaches for MotoGP officials. In response to ongoing backlash, tire supplier Michelin has indicated openness to an in-race penalty system that would replace the current post-race time additions. Such a system could involve long lap penalties or in-race warnings that give riders the chance to correct pressure on the fly, eliminating the uncertainty of delayed race results. Marc Marquez's push for reform highlights a growing frustration among riders. Safety rules shouldn't decide championships. While he supports keeping the tire pressure regulation in place, his plea for lighter, more realistic penalties speaks to a broader need for MotoGP to modernize its rule enforcement. With Michelin and race officials now listening, the future could bring a smarter system, one that protects riders without punishing them unfairly. Racing alongside Andrea Locatelli and veteran Katsuyuki Nakasuga, Miller helped Yamaha claim second place in the grueling Suzuka 8 Hours, despite a fiercely contested race ultimately won by Honda and MotoGP star Johann Zarco. Miller's first Suzuka podium came in just his second appearance at the event, after a demanding week that included 2 crashes during practice. But the Australian showed grit and determination, pushing hard for the win in scorching conditions. Despite the joy of standing on the podium, Miller made it clear he wants more. Second place is nice, but what I really want is the bigger one, the winner's trophy. That thing really made me jealous. He credited the team's effort, highlighted the fan support, and praised Yamaha's culture of constant improvement, describing the Suzuka experience as wonderful. His admiration extended to Yamaha's leadership, calling it an honor to have President Shurtera on site. Miller's praise for Yamaha wasn't just lip service, it hinted at a deeper bond forming between rider and manufacturer. To ride in the 8 Hours for Yamaha was a wonderful experience. I could feel Yamaha's philosophy of constantly progressing. I definitely want to participate again as a Yamaha rider. For a rider with his MotoGP contract still up in the air, these remarks carry weight. While he remains with Pramac Yamaha for the rest of 2025, his performance and attitude may be paving the way for a long-term role with the Japanese brand, especially in endurance racing. Miller's MotoGP future remains a topic of discussion. With one seat at Pramac Yamaha already secured for Toprak Razgatlioglu, and Miguel Oliveira signed through 2026, there's only one seat left to confirm. But after 12 rounds of the 2025 MotoGP season, Miller is emerging as the favorite to stay. His combination of experience, adaptability, and team-first mentality makes him a strong candidate, especially with Yamaha aiming to rebuild in both MotoGP and World Endurance Championship efforts. Even in defeat, Miller's mindset reflects that of a champion. His Suzuka debrief was filled with reflection, ambition, and gratitude, not just to Yamaha, but to his teammates, fans, and the broader racing community. It was a great day for me, for Nakasuga-san, and for Locatelli. We managed the race with almost no mistakes, even in extremely hot conditions. But we need to get stronger and come back to win. Jack Miller's Suzuka 8 Hours campaign might not have ended with the winner's trophy, but it ignited something bigger, a renewed relationship with Yamaha and a potential blueprint for his post-MotoGP career. Whether in Grand Prix racing or endurance competition, Miller isn't done yet, and it's clear he wants to write his next chapter in Yamaha blue. Steiner, the former Haas Formula One team principal, has been linked to Tech3 KTM since he was seen at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone earlier this season. His presence raised eyebrows and sparked rumors of a possible MotoGP venture, especially amid Liberty Media's recent takeover of the series. Since then, whispers grew louder. A report by yes.motorsport.com claimed Steiner and the Apex Group were nearing a €20 million deal to take over Tech3. The potential purchase would see Ponchral step aside after decades of paddock involvement. Responding via GP1, Ponchral didn't mince words when addressing the rumors. This is absolutely fake news. We are talking, as you know. But nothing was signed. I've never made a secret of the fact that discussions are taking place. He confirmed that talks have been held, including with Steiner, but emphasized that no agreement or contract is in place. He expressed frustration at how routine conversations have spiraled into inaccurate headlines. Back in June, Ponchral acknowledged that various investors from both inside and outside MotoGP had shown interest in the Tech3 project. Some had expressed interest in becoming shareholders, others as sponsors, and a few even floated full acquisition offers. There are a lot of ideas. People tell me their vision, what they'd like to do. It could be as an investor, a minority shareholder, helping with sponsorship. but nothing has been finalized. In short, there is interest, but no imminent takeover. And Bombshell, who has led Tech3 for decades, is not handing over the reins without careful thought, especially with the team still deeply connected to KTM and the Red Bull-backed satellite project. At 68 years old, Bombshell is slowly stepping away from high-level responsibilities. Earlier this season, he resigned as president of IRTA, MotoGP's team association, and was succeeded by Lucio Cecchinello, LCR Honda. That announcement was also made during the Silverstone weekend, the same event where Steiner was first seen. The timing further fueled speculation of a bigger transition at Tech3. The rumors around Tech3 reflect a broader wave of change sweeping MotoGP following Liberty Media's acquisition of the sport. Big names like Lewis Hamilton have been linked to team investments, and whispers of cross-series interest continue to grow. Earlier this year, Hamilton was rumored to be eyeing a KTM investment, showing that the F1 MotoGP connection is no longer just hypothetical. With MotoGP seeking global expansion, it's clear that more outsiders want in, but not all reports are rooted in fact. While Bombshell admits to ongoing discussions, his message is clear: Tech3 has not been sold. Until ink hits paper, speculation will remain just that. As MotoGP's new era unfolds under Liberty Media, expect more headlines, but don't believe everything you read. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!